8 weekends of conference play are officially in the books, and these are my latest SEC baseball power rankings with just 2 weekends remaining. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Check us out via podcast, where we get your podcast. You can also find us across all social media platforms, as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. As always, we are powered by our friends over at FANDUEL. Visit FANDUEL.com/SECU to join today. Get started with $200 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. Once again, that's FANDUEL.com/SECU to get $200 in bonus bets today. Guys, the postseason is just a few short weeks away. We are through 8 conference weekends, and these are my latest SEC baseball power rankings as we pull up each of my selections. And we will start at number 16, of course, holding it down in the cellar like they've been doing all season long. Our good friends from Como, the Missouri Tigers, they get swept over the weekend by Georgia at Phi Delta Theta Stadium, whatever they're calling it out there. I thought Mizzou had a shot, and they did have a shot. Tie ball game in Game 3 in the 9th. You see Missouri knocking on the door, but Georgia obviously able to get the big swings of the bat when they need them the most. Missouri now 0-24 in conference play. 2 weekends left at Texas A&M, Mississippi State at home. The over-under 3.5 I set early in the season. The under is going to smash on that. The question will simply be, does MIZ complete the defeated season? I think they do right now, but it's interesting. There's like a new pressure when you play Mizzou, right? Because you don't want to be that team that loses to Missouri and gives them their first SEC win. And oh, by the way, as we look, and we're looking ahead, obviously, to the postseason, starting in just a few short weeks, the irony can't be lost on anyone that the first year that everyone is allowed in the SEC tournament, we may have a team that went 0-30 in conference play in Hoover. It's kind of funny how that works. Guys, number 15, I've got South Carolina. They get swept over the weekend by the Florida Gators at Founders Park. The program has hit a low point. I mean, that's the best way to put it, guys, sitting at 5 overall conference wins at this point. The season is essentially over. We obviously heard the rumblings earlier in the week about Paul Maneri. He comes out and says, I'm not going anywhere. I'm committed to building this thing, which I saw a lot of moaning and groaning from Gamecock fans after those comments, and I totally understand why. I think this program under Paul Maneri is going nowhere fast. He was not hired as a guy to come in and build the program. He was hired as a quick fix. At best, he was a short-term hire that you felt like was going to bring national relevancy back to the program because of his name and his resume. At worst, Paul Maneri was a desperate attempt at a shot of relevancy to a program that's been in a decline and a downturn since essentially the 2012 season when Ray Tanner took the Gamecocks, tried to win their 3rd straight national title, fell short, and then he hangs it up over that summer. So I think South Carolina, guys, there needs to be some humility from the standpoint of recognizing from the fan base, the administration, everyone affiliated there, understanding this program is not what it once was. This is no longer a top-tier program in college baseball. We have to accept that, and we need to go find a guy, a young, fiery, energetic coach that is willing to come in and is willing to build. Because this whole quick fix thing with Paul Maneri, guys, how's he going to recruit? Why would anybody from the portal come play for this guy? Like, I don't see the vision. I don't see the optimism. South Carolina baseball, a shell of what it used to be. That was evident over the weekend. By the way, 22-3 loss in Game 2. Worst loss for the Gamecocks and Diamond since 1997. They are making history in the worst kind of way in Columbia. Guys, at number 14, I've got the Kentucky Wildcats. Kentucky falling over the weekend. And again, Kentucky just continues to be that weird team for me, guys, where they're really hard to figure out. You take a look at the Cats over the weekend, and they get swept. I thought walked into a buzzsaw in Starkville, right? For a Mississippi State team I thought was playing loose. No more Chris Lemonis. You're not trying to save a head coach's job. More on the Dogs in just a second. But for Kentucky, they're going to be a scrappy 2 seed somewhere. I'm not expecting a lot out of Kentucky in the postseason. You've got Cleaver. You've got Nick McKay. You've got a pretty solid starting rotation, but the bats are really inconsistent. Again, I think going to the dude that was the biggest college baseball crowd over a weekend we had gotten all season long, really, really tough task for the Cats. Going to be interesting to see how they bounce back this weekend because Kentucky upcoming has Oklahoma coming to Lexington. So another opportunity for them. I would not be surprised if Kentucky bounces back in a big way, but they got to get it going in a hurry. That's for sure. Number 13, guys, I've got the Alabama Crimson Tide. Again, guys, we talked about it last week. I just think this is kind of who Bama is, right? They dropped the series in Nashville, a series in which Vanderbilt scores 4 in the bottom of the 9th to walk them off in Game 3 to break their hearts and to take the series. Bama's a solid team right there on the bubble of being a regional host. I don't think they're probably going to end up doing it, especially when you look at their schedule, what they have upcoming. The Georgia Bulldogs come to town this weekend, and they got to go to Florida to close the season. Bama just kind of is what they are. They're inconsistent. They need Justin LeBron to be Justin LeBron again. I don't know if he's dealing with an injury or what's going on with Justin LeBron, but he has just not been the same guy. You kind of know what you're getting with this Bama team at this point. Like, they were never a top 10 team, in my opinion. It was a nice story early in the season. Could make some noise in the regionals, don't get me wrong, but I think super regional is probably the ceiling of this team, and I think that is a very fair ceiling when you look at the roster and just who they are as a club this season. Guys, number 12, I've got Mississippi State. Don't look now, but the Dogs are hot. Don't look now. The Dogs are hot. First 4 games of the Justin Parker era, you go 4-0 with 2 run rule victories. Mississippi State did not have a midweek game this week. So under Justin Parker, 4-0, you sweep Kentucky, and you've got 2 run rule victories. I would say that's a pretty good start. And guys, teams just playing loose. Teams playing loose. They don't have a coach's job to save. There's not this extra layer of pressure, right? The game's already hard enough. That's why I felt so good about them going into the weekend against Kentucky, and they flex their muscles. They sweep. A lot of guys in the lineup contributing. Some web gems just out the wazoo. It was crazy to see them in the field making the plays they did. Watch out. I'm telling you, it's not a guarantee, but watch out. Mississippi State's getting hot. And I've talked to some SEC coaches, guys. They were always befuddled by the fact they felt like this state team, yes, they've got some holes in the lineup, but this is a much better team than what I think the record has shown to this point. They've got some pieces. That starting rotation's legit. That bullpen's really, really good. They've got some pieces. Mississippi State, dangerous. If they end up making the postseason, there's going to be a host that is very, very upset to see the Bulldogs as the 3 seed in their regional. State at 12. Don't let the Dogs get hot. It might be too late. Guys, at number 11, I've got the Ole Miss Rebels, Hotty Toddy, coming in at 11 for me. Ole Miss over the weekend. An interesting series for them. Interesting series for Ole Miss. They, as we try to pull it up here, where is Ole Miss? Where did they go? What am I talking about, right? Excuse me, they had Oklahoma. That's right. They had Oklahoma, avoided the sweep. I had a brain fart there. Avoided the sweep in Norman. Ole Miss is another one for me. Right on the bubble of hosting. They are similar to Bama from the standpoint. A couple of these teams we'll talk about. These stingy, tough, middle-of-the-pack teams. I say this every week, guys, but it's just the truth. The middle of the pack of this league is so competitive. And I just wonder, because I think there's going to be a middle-of-the-pack team that makes a run. I really do. Because these teams, like, you think about what you've gone through and the strenuous schedule and who you've had to play and face. Guys, you get to the postseason, you're facing non-conference teams. There is nothing you are going to see that is going to be more difficult than what you saw on a week-in, week-out basis in the SEC. Ole Miss is one of those teams, again, with Hunter Elliott, Riley Maddox, if you're getting the best version of him. You like the lineup with Udemark and Federico and some other guys there as well. Solid club, rough weekend on the road against the Oklahoma squad, right there in their same position, right? Fighting for that hosting spot, because I think right now you feel pretty good about the top, 6 or 7? And I think there's 4 teams right now probably fighting for a hosting bid, the last hosting bid from the SEC. That's probably Alabama, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, and I would say Tennessee's in that conversation as well after their scuffles of late. But Ole Miss, number 11, I mean, guys, 11 through 7, maybe 12. I'd say 11 through 7, you could essentially put in any order because they're all kind of very, not identical, but they're similar clubs from the standpoint of all really, really solid, not in tier 1, but really good tier 2 clubs. Guys, I just mentioned them, number 10. I've got the Oklahoma Sooners. I mean, have a freaking weekend. Kyson Witherspoon, that dude is phenomenal. I think he's the best ace in the SEC. I really do. I've said that many times. Oklahoma, again, they take 2 of 3 from Ole Miss. Very similar club yet again, right? Fighting for the hosting spot. Really good middle-of-the-pack team. Oklahoma with a big opportunity their last 2 weekends, because this weekend they go to Kentucky, right? You feel pretty good about that, right? Final week of the season, they host the Texas Longhorns. And this is not Texas from earlier in the season, by the way. So very interesting finish for OU. I think if they go 4-2 over the next 2 weekends, I think they are a host. Much easier said than done because Texas is still Texas, although they're a little bit wounded right now. But Oklahoma really like this club, especially when Kyson Witherspoon is on like he was over the weekend. Number 9, guys, I've got the Vandy boys, Tim Corbin and company. You know, it's funny. I was thinking about when I visited up there a little bit over a month ago, and not that I was like selling all my stock, but I was not really all that high on Vandy. You know, I talked about Tim Corbin. Hey, how long can you just win with pitching and defense and shoddy hitting? And guys, I mean, he's really made me eat my words. I give credit to Tim Corbin. I mean, they have taken what they have and they've maximized it. I mean, give them credit, man. I mean, the pitching's been phenomenal. They got a real 3-headed monster in the rotation with J.D. Thompson, Balker, and Fennell. Those are 3 studs, legitimate dudes. Can't wait to watch them this weekend in Knoxville. So they've got a legitimate rotation. Bullpen's pretty good. Some guys in the lineup starting to come around. R.J. Austin has a big weekend. We know about Brody Johnston, obviously. They're having some other dudes step up. Vandy's a dangerous team. I don't know if they're quite an Omaha team. I think it depends on the matchup. I think they could get there. Depends on the matchup. But Vandy is very intriguing, fun to watch. You know, they're trying to solidify postseason baseball there at the Hawk. At Tennessee this weekend is going to be absolutely electric because they've got a bad taste in their mouth because the last 2 years have been terrible for the Vandy boys against Tennessee. One of the most underrated rivalries, I think, in college baseball. This one is going to be a lot of fun this weekend. Guys, before we go any further, I want to tell you about our friends over at FanDuel because, as always, we're brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. The wait is over. Baseball season's finally here, and you can start the season strong on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now FanDuel is celebrating the return of baseball by giving new customers $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. FanDuel has so many ways for you to get in on the action, from hits to steals to home runs. They've got a lineup filled with all your favorite bets, or if pitching is more of your thing, FanDuel has a deep bullpen of bets from strikeouts to shutout innings. So when you place your first bet, it can be on almost anything, and if it hits, you'll get $250 in bonus bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/SECU to join today. That's FanDuel.com/SECU. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official partner of Major League Baseball. Must be 21 and up and present in select states, for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 and up and present in D.C. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org. Call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPENY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Let's get back to it at number 8, guys, in my SEC baseball power rankings. I've got the Tennessee Volunteers, the team that Vandy will take on this weekend at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. Guys, it was another series loss for the Tennessee Volunteers last weekend as they get taken down at home by the Auburn Tigers. I think the most disheartening thing, and by the way, this is taking nothing away from Auburn, I promise, but I think the most disheartening thing is that Tennessee just looked flustered to me, like all weekend. They look flustered from the jump when they inexplicably started a game they didn't have to start because it's up to the home team. Started that game on a Friday night in a monsoon. They trot Liam Doyle out there. He goes like 10 pitches. They stop the game, right? Then you have more rain delays. They go into Sunday. They're in extras. Liam Doyle pitches in extra innings. They secure that win. But then they're just lifeless in game 3. And I mean, guys, you think about Tennessee, the way they're trending. Losers of 4 of their last 5 series. And the series they won at Ole Miss, they had to score 3 runs in the top of the ninth in game 3 to steal that one and to steal the series. We could be talking about Tennessee losing 5 straight series. They didn't, but they were that close. You close out now. Vandy coming to your place at Arkansas. I tell you, you better start playing your best baseball very, very soon, or Tennessee is going to miss out. Not just they're going to miss out not on a national seed, but they're going to miss out hosting as a whole. I mean, Tennessee might have to go on the road this postseason. I mean, think about it, guys. The committee cares about like what kind of baseball are you playing towards the end of the season. If we're talking about a Tennessee team losing 6 of their last 7 series, I mean, I think your hosting chances at that point are slim to none. So Tennessee, I still think I'm not selling like all my stock on Tony Vitello in Tennessee. I still think they are, I still think they're a very talented club. Did have a big performance in the midweek, but they got to get something going. It starts this weekend. You let the Vandy boys come into your house and kick your ass, I think that's going to be a really, really bad sign for Tony Vitello's club. Number 7, guys, I've got the Florida Gators. How about Florida rising up? They go into Columbia, South Carolina. Yes, they beat up on a bad South Carolina team, but they handle their business, and it's, guys, the way they've been doing it. Florida, 10-2 over their last 12 SEC games for a team that started 1-11 in conference play. The bullpen's been much better. The starting pitching's been good with the return of Liam Peterson, especially. What Jake Clemente, by the way, has given them out of the pen has been fantastic. Their lineup is absolutely smashing, and they did it over the weekend without Colby Shelton, who hopefully they're going to get back for the postseason, assuming they make it, which I think Florida's in a great spot, by the way, guys. I do. I mean, you think about the fact they have 11 SEC wins with 2 weekends to go, one of the best RPIs, one of the best strength of schedules. You go to Texas this weekend. That's interesting. That's very interesting because this is a Texas team. We'll talk about more in a second. This is not a Texas team from a few weeks ago. This is a different animal now. Go into Austin, then you close out the season with Bama at home. Guys, if Florida gets to that 13-win mark in the SEC, which obviously very doable. I mean, you could lose the next 2 series as long as you just don't get swept. You're getting to that mark. I mean, Florida's going to be in, especially after last year when they were the last team in. They make a run, they go all the way to Omaha. They're going to put them in, and the turnaround by Kevin O'Sullivan and company, that entire coaching staff, really, really impressive. Watch out for the Gators. Again, somebody's going to be really upset when they see Florida pop up as the number 3 seed in their regional. That's all I'm saying. Guys, at number 6, I've got the LSU Tigers. LSU takes a tumble for me. They lose 2 of 3 at Texas A&M. I mean, they're going to be talking about that Zach Cohen pitch to Caden Sorrell for quite a long time on both sides, for one positive reason, one negative reason, depending on what colors you're wearing. Listen, I still like LSU a lot. We had to do some shuffling in the power ranking because of the way some other teams are playing. Still really high on this LSU team. Still feel really good about them. I mean, guys, they're still probably going to be a top 8 national seed. Like, it's a really, really good team. I know LSU fans want to act like the sky is falling. Massive weekend upcoming with Arkansas coming to town. I would expect very similar vibes, if not the same vibes, this weekend as what we had a few weekends ago when we went down there for the Tennessee series. So, I think LSU is going to be fine, guys. Here's the biggest thing, and I know LSU fans will agree. It's the bats that scare you, I think, more than anything. I think it's the inconsistency with the sticks that scare you more than anything. Really, truly, if that's my greatest concern with LSU, you just never know when the bats are going to go cold. And they've also struggled against lefties. And, guys, what do you get on Friday against Arkansas? You get one of the best left-handed pitchers in the country in a guy named Zach Root. So good luck with that. I think LSU, again, is going to be fine, but they got to get the bats going. If they can, the pitching staff, I mean, you got elite pitching. You got elite pitching in College Station, and you just couldn't do much of anything with it outside of Anthony Ianton spinning an absolute gem. So LSU for me at 6, guys. At number 5, I got the Auburn Tigers. I mean, it's about time we put some damn respect on Auburn. I think nationally Auburn doesn't get talked about as much because, let's face it, like they don't have a baseball fan base like an LSU, or Arkansas, or Texas, even an A&M, what have you. Baseball tradition, it's strong, but it's not like some of these others. But, guys, Butch Thompson's one of the best coaches in this damn conference. And this team, is it the most talented team in the conference? No, it's not. And I don't say that as disrespect, but it's just not the most talented roster. But the way this team plays together, plays for one another, how hard they play. And, oh, by the way, they got a dude named Sam Dutton. If you haven't watched him pitch yet, folks, make it appointment viewing the next time you're sitting down on a Friday night in the SEC, because this dude is absolutely phenomenal. Auburn has the Thursday through Saturday series this weekend. They have got the Gamecocks coming to town, so a great opportunity for Auburn to improve on that 13-11 SEC record and strengthen that resume for a host. Most of us, I think, expecting Auburn to complete the job, get the job done, I should say, and lock down a hosting spot. It's a really good team, man. It's a really, really good team that is beat. And by the way, they've played the toughest schedule in the conference. That's something people also don't talk enough about. Again, Auburn coming off that big weekend at Tennessee. I mean, you think about it, guys. They've won at Tennessee. They swept LSU. I mean, I understand, they got swept at Georgia. They've had their rough weekends. But this Auburn team, really, really good. This is a realistic contender to get to Omaha. Make no mistake. That is not an overreaction or overstatement. This Auburn team very well could get to Omaha. Do not be surprised. At number 4, guys, I've got the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia handling their business in Como. It's a little too close for comfort. Again, Georgia's biggest thing. What version of them are you going to get on the road? They almost got a version themselves that cost them being the first victim to Missouri this season. I am really curious how they look this weekend in Tuscaloosa. I really am. Because at some point, it's like, you feel like they've got to break through on the road. Or is it something that it's just so mental for them, they can't figure it out? And what's crazy, guys, with Georgia, they're getting good pitching now. They're getting good starting pitching. I mean, Brian Curley went 7 innings on Friday, which I have to think is their longest outing by a starter this season. I mean, they're getting really, really good starting pitching. If that lineup on the road can swing it, they're going to be great. Here's the good news, guys. Georgia ain't going to be playing on the road this postseason, at least for the regionals. Now, are they going to be a top 8 national seed? That's what they're fighting for the last 2 weekends with at Bama and then Texas A&M at home. But at Foley Field, I mean, guys, this is one of the best teams in the country on their home field. I mean, I think you can put them right up there against anybody with talking about home records. Georgia at Foley, they're as tough to beat as anybody in college baseball. It's when they get away from there that you have your concerns. Guys, at number 3, I've got the Texas A&M Aggies. I've gotten some pushback for this one, but guys, again, they're power rankings. I mean, Texas A&M, the baseball they're playing right now is as good as anybody in the conference. I mean, you take 2 out of 3 from LSU. I know what happened against Texas. I get it. 3 one-run ball games on the road, you lose. But the way they bounce back, I mean, Ryan Prager gives you really all 3 pitchers pitch well, but Ryan Prager gives you a great start. And then you have the big knock by Caden Sorrell in game 3. And it was so poetic, so fitting that he would be the guy that has that knock, because he has been the heart and soul of that ball club. And I think the thing you can point to as the reason for their turnaround back on that fateful day in Knoxville on Saturday when they were coming off the no-hit run rule game, all of a sudden win 2 games, and here we are today. So Texas A&M, going to be a postseason team barring a complete meltdown, and this is another one. And I think these 3 teams we've mentioned, Mississippi State, Florida, and now Texas A&M, guys, I think it's one of the best stories in the SEC, if not all of college baseball. And A&M, I mean, God bless whoever draws Texas A&M as a 3 seed in their regional. I mean, really, truly, whoever gets them, I think you might have drawn the short straw, because you still look at that roster, guys. I still can't help myself. I look at that roster, and I'm like, this is one of the best rosters in college baseball if this thing's clicking. And I think that's what we've seen over the last few weeks. Guys, number 2, I've got the Texas Longhorns. Now, listen, they only fall 1 spot for me. Here's the thing. Because Texas went into Fayetteville and got their ass kicked. I mean, they got humbled, right? It finally caught up to them. No Jared Spencer, no Ballou. You were 19-2 in conference. Like, guys, we talked about it, and Texas fans took it. Some Texas fans took it personally, took it as a slight. No, everybody, including myself, was just saying, hey, nobody gets through this league without getting humbled. It's too hard of a league. It's going to happen. And, guys, the stars aligned. You go on the road. You face the first-ranked team on the road that you faced all season. This was the most obvious pick of obvious picks that Arkansas was going to do to Texas. Maybe not to the level of what they did, but was at least going to take the series. Now, the one thing I'm not going to do as well, though, is go to the other extreme and hit the panic button and say, oh, my God, Texas is just no good. They're terrible. I'll explain more why in a second. I'm not doing that when I talk about Arkansas. But this Texas team is still very good. They still have one of the best coaches in the country. They still have guys, even though they scare me without Spencer in the starting rotation, they've still got guys in that rotation, in that bullpen that they've depended on all season that have been really, really good. They've still got a pretty good lineup. It's inconsistent at times, no doubt, but still got a pretty good lineup. And guys, guess what? They come home this weekend, a place where they've done nothing else but win. So there's a lot of reasons here. Listen, you see them lose again. If you see some of the issues pop up again that we saw in Fayetteville, drop them further and you can really start to worry. Guys, one bad weekend doesn't deter me because everybody has at least one bad weekend. This is the SEC. Texas fans, that was your official initiation to SEC baseball. Welcome to the conference, my brethren. And at number one, and again, the reason why I'm not freaking out over Texas losing to Arkansas, it's because I got Arkansas number one in my power rankings. Guys, I've been saying this for weeks, even when they lost 3 straight weekends. I think this is the most complete team in the league. Thus, I think this is the best team in the conference. Like, when they are clicking and playing well, show me their weakness. Starting pitching, bullpen, defense, coaching, the lineup 1 through 9. Hell, beyond the starting 9. Guys, they've got on the bench too. I mean, this team has it all. As I said earlier in the week, though, does this mean that, Arkansas won't go down there and piss down their leg? No, they very well still may do that. But the fact remains, in my opinion, they are the most complete team in the league. They were my pick in the preseason, by the way, to win the SEC, to win the regular season title. We'll see if that happens. Texas has a 2-game lead with 6 games to go. But still, love this Arkansas team. They finally, I think, backs against the wall, kind of lived up to what some of us thought they could be. And they took it to a really good Texas team that had been the creme de la creme of this league to that point. So, got to give the Hogs credit. They've got a tough one. Obviously, this is life in the SEC. Hey, you feel good about yourself. Good job. Pats on the back. Beat Texas. Now you got to go to Alex Box. Have fun with that. Have fun with Alex Box. A raucous, crazy, unhinged Alex Box, I might add. So, but again, for now, Arkansas, for me, best team in the conference. I'm more than comfortable saying it. Number one in my SEC baseball power rankings with just 2 regular season weekends remaining. Guys, that being said, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? How would you power rank the teams of the SEC on the diamond entering the second to last weekend of the regular season? Guys, that's going to do all for me. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. As always, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Check us out via podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us across all social media platforms, as well as our websites, secunfiltered.com. Till next time, I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in, and we will catch you on the other side.